Welcome to the Team Fish Taco Podcast, episode 8. This is it's been about a year since the last podcast, and
It has
the
been
last
over a
one was
year.
called The Grand Return, so I'm going to call this one The Grand Return number 2.
Allegedly.
that can be like the alternate title.
Yeah, it's just it's shaping up to be a pretty good annual podcast at this point.
Yeah. We made it
You
last
gotta lean into it.
last year we made a
haven't forgotten
meme.
to do the podcast. It's just annual.
Yeah. I think we said in the last podcast that it's a meme that we'd only do one a year, and we're
Did we
holding
really?
up to it. Pretty
Yeah.
good.
Memes become reality.
So for this episode, we are joined by a first time to the podcast, Alex. You want to introduce
Hey.
yourself?
Yeah, and Zagora. Play
And
at
Zag-
4, end of the season.
All right, and also Pedro, welcome back.
Thank you. I think I was here for maybe episode 1, possibly 2, and then the lost episode that never got released. The Thanksgiving one.
Wait, that was literally a year ago.
Yeah.
No, that
the
was
episode that I just never released.
the lost episode was recorded 2 years ago. Because that was
Oh.
Thanksgiving the year before of 2019.
Yeah, that one is quite old. Goddamn.
Today, we're going to be talking about the new hit Netflix original series, ARCANE. We all finished it. We all really enjoyed it. So we wanted to talk about some things that we really liked about the series, and then we want to talk about where we think the series may be going from here.
Get into like some theories. We did already do a video, kind of like our own theories in between Act 2 and Act 3. And I would say it aged pretty well, I think.
How much do you think you like between acts 2 and 3? How much do you think you got right, and how much do you think honestly you now?
We
know,
really
how much did you
didn't.
get
That's
wrong?
the thing. We really didn't get a whole lot wrong, except for the fact that Warwick wasn't the focus.
Yeah,
were
we thought
thinking
he'd be the focus of the last 3 episodes.
we thought he would at least be the big like reveal of the finale. But
Mhm.
I've had some time to think about it, and the fact that they're saving him for the next season gives it more time to be fleshed out rather than just rushed. So I'm pretty happy the way that they did it.
Did you guys see the announcement video for season 2?
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they made the Warwick W sound at the end.
Work is definitely going to be a huge focus in season 2. Which
We're-
probably,
seldom-
what sucks is we're probably not getting that for 3-4 years.
I hope not. No, surely not now because Arcane was supposed to come
Faster
and
with them having assets and models already, but I'd rather them take their time to make it high quality again.
I
than-
was thinking
than
the
rush it.
same thing. Coming after this show, it's really, I just, I don't know how they're going to do season 2 as good as season 1.
I definitely think it's possible. It's just a matter of don't get greedy now. You took 6 years to make this. It's been a massive success so far. Don't ruin it by trying to rush and make money.
I think that since this show has been so successful, that I feel like the 6-year thing, a lot of the problems that would have to do with that would be funding and stuff. Like, yeah, Riot has a lot of money, but the fact that this show was so big and garnered so much attention, I feel like it'll become more of a focus than it previously was going into the first season. Now, don't get me wrong, I also am on the train of take as long as you need for quality content. This isn't, your average show where they can churn out a season every year. It's kind of becoming a thing where these bigger shows are taking longer breaks between seasons to throw out something good.
Yeah, which I think is a good thing most of the time.
I do too. I mean, yeah, the wait sucks, and most of the time, if it's like a Netflix show, you wait all that way, and then the whole fucking show comes out in one day, and then you binge the whole thing. But I hope that this continues with the other seasons that they do. The 3 episode release schedule
That
for every week.
was really, really cool. That was completely different than most shows do it nowadays, and I think it worked phenomenally because obviously they set it up in 3 parts, but they could have done something like They could have really milked it like a lot of movie studios do, and they could have released it as 3 movies and made us wait like a year in between. And
Mm-hmm.
that probably would have made the most money, I think. But the way they did it, not only could you somewhat binge by watching, I must have been like a total of, I don't know, an hour and a half to 2 hours of content, and then you have that whole week to discuss with your friends, like, oh my god, what's going to happen next? And then the next week, the hype has been built up, and you get the next act, and then one more time afterwards. I think it just worked phenomenally.
Yeah, I think they put a lot of thought into this first whole thing. Like the amount of character tie-ins and hints and subtle nods to certain characters so that between weeks you have things to talk about and speculate on. I really never expected them to do something that good where they actually have such intricate tie-ins and hints to characters that aren't even that popular in the mainstream, and it's I mean, I was just really shocked with how well it done it was.
That's
Yeah,
probably my favorite thing about the show is that it is actually good. It's not
yes.
just like passable good. It is 10 out of 10 in my opinion.
Like
Especially
what I've seen a lot of people say is even people who aren't familiar with the game itself have like really
yes.
enjoyed the show because it's not for us. It's definitely a big moment where we're getting to see our characters come to life, and not only are we seeing them like almost seeing the real them, but we're seeing it in such high quality, which I know a lot of people didn't expect. We're so used to shitty remakes or renditions of games like Assassin's Creed, the constant Netflix churn out of like animes and stuff just being
Boy
terrible.
Bebop.
I haven't heard
Well,
anything about is it I've heard it
Don't
wasn't that great, but I haven't
just
like seen it.
don't waste your time. They each into play League after the Arcane. They.
yes.
Mhm.
Which, first of all, anyone listening to this podcast, that's a mistake.
I, I,
Don't
Wait for
I
the fighting
confirmed
game or play the RPG.
I've
Yeah.
confirmed that mistake because after I think it was yesterday, I was just looking at more Arcane shit, and I rewatched the last episode and the Echo fight, and I was just like, God damn, I can't believe this shit actually made me care about League again. I'm gonna go play some fucking League of Legends, and I lost 5 games in a row, and I was like, yep, I remember why I don't like this game anymore. The characters are great.
After
Fuck this
that
game.
final still in the show, the rocket hitting the glass, I
Mhm.
literally as I saw that, I think I must have rewatched that like 5 times in a row. The whole time I'm thinking, I'm gonna become a Jinx main tomorrow.
I mainly played ARM games. I did play one Summoner's Rift game, and I'm just all of them were colossal failures. But one of them I did get Jinx, and I was like, at least this shit is in fucking season.
Hell yeah. I've been seeing so many people complaining about people all of a sudden like first timing Jace, first timing Vi, first timing Jinx, and just absolutely running it.
Yeah.
I will
Me,
say,
Classic League of Legends.
me on Vi jungle.
Yeah, it's so funny to me too because the characters are like, there's almost zero characters in the show that are in the game that are that easy to play. Like all those characters are pretty difficult to play well. It's not like Annie or something where you can just like pick it up and like, do okay.
yeah, Jinx isn't that
That's actually a
difficult to
good
play.
point. I mean,
I was-
Vi is pretty simple, but jungling is just like a really hard role.
Yeah, they need to buffer a lot to make her simple.
Maybe
Which
maybe
they
this
did
will.
though.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, Vi is really strong right now. She's probably
Oh.
top 2 jungler.
I used to play Vi a lot. In fact, Vi was like the first champion I really wanted. It was when she came out is when I started getting into the game.
Here we go.
Mm.
I
So
start with Jinx.
yeah, I remember.
Really, next champion, I believe. They was close after each other.
Jinx came right after Lucian, I think.
Yeah, some were there, but she was
Yeah.
mocking the theme song of Vi, and it was popular there.
Mm-hmm.
And the Vi's theme song was I mean, I like the Jinx theme song as well, but Vi song was bump.
Yeah, they were.
They're both
really,
bangers.
really hype.
And Jinx's song, like now
Oh yeah.
after Arcane, is just ridiculous to listen to. And the fact
Yes.
that they made everything in the show add up with this song's lyrics that they made 8 fucking years ago is just insane to me.
Well, apparently they started working on this 6 years ago, which holds up considering
Yeah, that makes
Uh,
sense.
Yeah.
Fiddlesticks has voice lines for it. Swain has voice lines for it. Like so many things.
The Warwick update has voice lines for it.
Yeah.
The Echo
Yep.
trailer, now that I think about it, is a little weird because isn't that Claggor? Claggor
No.
in the
No.
mural? Is it just a
No.
random kid?
It's just a kid.
Yeah.
Huh. I thought that's what it was, but Claggor in Arcane definitely looks different than the mural, so I guess it must have been someone he lost later.
Mm-hmm.
But oh my god, Echo's glow up in Arcane is
Yeah.
so fucking cool.
Yeah. It is.
I
He
was like,
looks
man, why aren't they just
so
showing us
cool.
Echo in the Act 2? I was like, it's obviously him. And then in Act 3, I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So many moments in the show just made me absolutely fall in love with the characters. Like the scene of Vi and Echo, where Echo has her locked up, and Echo's like not sure if she's gonna be an enemy or a friend and everything, and then she just suddenly hugs him, and he's like, "How long have you been free?" And she's like, "How long have you been whining?" It was just like so many moments that just felt.
I
So
want to talk
good.
about that moment for just a second because I rewatched that as well. And like Echo puts on this huge tough guy persona when Vi is quote unquote, handcuffed. And when she does break out and hugs him, you can literally see it in his eyes as he starts to tear up that he needed that hug. That shit has
Yes.
just been so bad for so long. And this, seeing Vi, this blast from the past, in person, and that she's not on Jinx's side, at least in his mind, yet. Uh, you could just tell that he needed that hug, and it's just that whole episode is
Well, if you think
just
about
so
it, just
fucking
before
good.
just before that, him and the Firelights were literally attacking Vi, Jinx, and Caitlyn. Like, imagine that combination. Jinx, who you know has been working for Silco and is completely insane and is destroying everything
Mm-hmm.
you've worked for. Vi, who up until just now you thought was dead for the past, what is it, 7 years? However much time passed.
Longer than
Uh,
that.
just coming back to life all of a sudden. And she's with a Piltover Gar. Like,
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
how is he even supposed to process that situation when just I think it was a day or two before that, several Firelights died raiding the shipment of Shimmer they were trying to get into Piltover. Like,
Yeah, and
there's
Jake's killed him.
so
Yeah.
the show's pacing is so good that you don't realize so much is happening in such a short span of time.
I
It's kind
feel
of
like
distracting me.
the pacing, how fast it was going.
Yeah, it was not my pace, definitely.
Yeah, I feel like in the first few episodes it wasn't as bad though. I feel like episode 8 is where you felt it the most. I was like, what is even going on right now?
Yeah, episode 8 was on a fucking treadmill. It sped through like a lot of shit.
Yeah, things were. I think it's understandable. It definitely
Yeah.
the climax and
They
everything
needed
was
that setup for the
probably
finale,
Yeah.
but and I don't think it was bad. If anything, that's probably the weakest part. Is like there is just some pacing issues throughout the show. I think
Mhm.
it helps that we've had these gaps in between 3 episodes and stuff.
Yes.
Because if you watch episode 6 and then go into episode 7 immediately, it doesn't feel as important. Versus when you watch episode 3 and go into episode 4, there's a huge change. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's probably the only weaker part of the show. Everything else about the show fucking is perfect. I think
Just to get this out of the way, Studio Fortiche, absolutely incredible. Like,
That's the studio that made it.
yeah, they're a French studio.
Mm.
And just actually, I remember the first time after the first episode when the credits were rolling by, I was like, "Did that just say Fortnite?" And then I had to go back for me to confirm, and I saw it Fortiche. And then I remember the next day, people on Reddit talking about them, and yeah, they're just like a small studio in France with like I think they said like 30 anime, or it was like 10 to 30 animators. It was like a small group.
That's really
But
crazy.
obviously, they're looking to expand now. But just what they did absolutely blew it out of the water.
the
Yeah.
visuals are just unbelievable on this show. Like the animation is clean as hell. Like even you can have a good show and the animation not be very good. Like Invincible is a good example of that. Invincible is a very good show, but there are definitely some parts of that show where the animation is lacking,
It's really clunky.
Yeah, it's really like one episode in particular is when he goes to Mars, and it's just literally low frame rate. It felt like, but the show's still very good. This show has the good fucking animation, and there really isn't a moment that it takes you out of the experience. And I just got to applaud that.
I think unlike a lot of other gaming studios, Riot really took their time, did their homework, and wanted to make sure they came out swinging. They didn't want, they want basically to create their own multiverse. They want to do what essentially every studio is copying off of Marvel by just creating a product that they can keep bringing more content in over and over for years to come. And they wanted to come out swinging. That's why they did so much marketing. They like everywhere in the world, people were posting like, "Oh my God, there's Arcane marketing here." They turned Brazil into Zon. Goddamn it. Of all the goddamn countries they used,
where was Piltover?
Piltover was Paris. So yeah, that was a little rough as a Brazilian, but yeah, just they really took their time, and they didn't want to make the mistakes that a lot of these other studios do, where the producers and I'm assuming the high corporate people just like, oh, we got to make money, just push it out. Who cares about having such high quality, such good storytelling? And Riot, unlike everybody else, just said, no, we're going to do this right. And honestly, I absolutely applaud it.
100%. Yeah, I think
go through and hear what episode was each person's favorite episode and why. Like, what part of the episode made it like the best for you?
Okay.
We want to start with Richard and then me.
Yeah, sure. I mean, because I feel like you and I are gonna have the same fucking answer.
Right.
I mean, it is close for me in terms of the best episode between the finale and episode 7, because both have just huge emotional impacts. But I think it is gonna go for me for my favorite episode of the first season. It is gonna be episode 7 because you expect the finale to have crazy ass shit in it. Episode 7 was the first episode back on the last week, and it catches you off guard with what happens, mainly at the end, between Jinx and Echo. The fucking fight between those two in animation, where it like he pulls out the fucking stopwatch, and she turns into a kid, and he turns into a kid, and then they have this really banging song with these crazy ass visuals of them fighting. And then it does the Echo rewind, and then they actually fight, and it just hits so fucking hard, and it's so tragic, and I was definitely more emotional watching the 7th episode than I was the finale, even though the finale was super fucking emotional with what happened.
About that, was that song Denzel Curry?
Yes, that was Denzel Curry.
Oh, it was?
It was so good.
It was so good.
That whole scene. Oh my God, especially since Selden told me to watch the music video for Enemies before...
I'm so glad I did that.
Yeah, watching these 3 episodes. The dynamics between Jinx and Echo, I just didn't realize were there, and I absolutely loved it, which made this so much more tragic when I saw that fight.
Yeah.
The coolest thing, seeing all, like, basically the representation of them always fighting as a kid, like, but... you know, fighting to improve each other. And in this case, back then, Jinx used to get the better of him, but he learned from that moment. And I think it was obviously the people who haven't played the game, they might not know this yet, but it was kind of a foreshadowing to his Z drive, where he basically, in his head, imagined the whole fight, remembered how she used to shoot, so he was able to, when he actually took the fight, he was able to take her down. And I think, in my opinion, that was a foreshadowing of his Z drive that he's...
Oh, it absolutely was. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was a foreshadowing of the Z drive, but I also thought it was symbolic of him when he was flipping it back and forth of how he wanted to turn back time. Is what he wanted to do there. He wanted to turn it back to whenever she was just a kid in Powder, and at the end he was frustrated because he couldn't, and he threw the watch down, and then he had to face reality again.
Wow, that's actually something I did not pick up, and I think it very well might be true.
Another thing, he had a crush on Jinx too.
Yes, apparently apparently that is something that
It was the voice line in the game. I didn't know until after I had watched the final act. You know, I was doing a little research, and Echo has a voice line. It said, "I used to have a crush, but then you started talking to the gun." And that's just so fucking heartbreaking, man.
Yes.
That they had to fight like that. It was done so well. It's definitely my favorite part of the show. Selden and I literally talked for like 30 minutes after we watched that episode. Like he had sent me a Snapchat because he was like 5 minutes ahead of me. He's like, "Oh, did you watch episode 7?" And I was so glued to the screen that I didn't open it till after it was done. And then when I saw that that was what he sent, immediately after I finished the episode, I called him. We talked about it for literally 30 minutes instead of continuing because it was just so good.
Yeah, so for my favorite episode, obviously, it was 7. But I think besides just that fight itself, I think the episode was like had really good pacing and really, really good exposition, and it introduced just this whole element of Zon that you didn't even know was there. I never knew it was there, and I'm pretty well
with
versed
the-
in League of Legends lore.
Like the Echo Tree area.
Yeah, with the Echo and
Yeah.
his whole society that he had built up there, and it set it up really nicely for Heimerdinger in the later episodes.
Okay,
That's gonna be
actually
interesting.
something I do want to talk about, and I talked to Chloe, Andrew, and Morgan about this after we finished this series. I honestly not 100% sure where I stand with Echo's and Heimer's relation right now, only because I feel like it's leading up to Echo and Heimerdinger inventing the Z drive on his own or on together. Whereas I always pictured it, and I always thought the case was that he invented Z drive on his own. And I kind
No,
of
his
feel-
lore never said that.
Oh, really?
No, it never said that, but that was always kind of the assumption. And I think it takes away from Echo a little bit because I think what the scenes between him and Heimer were showing was how much ingenuity he has already, and that he can accomplish these things. So the fact that now he's gonna complete Z Drive with Heimer, I think is a little bit of Yordle savior complex. I'm gonna say. And I just think it takes away from Echo a little bit, which makes me a little sad. But I get it. I mean, it's a bit unrealistic
Story-wise, it just
expecting-
makes sense. Like
Yeah,
that
story-wise
Heimerdinger
makes
would
sense,
help
'cause
him.
He doesn't understand what the gemstone is, so obviously he's gonna need Heimer's help to do it. But I do think it. I mean, Jinx figured it out.
Well, she
Yeah.
had all the notes from Jace. Though.
Yeah, it definitely helps.
Where did she get the notes again? I don't
She
remember
stole
that.
it from his house.
Yeah.
She had a whole book of all the
Remember she killed
equations
all
and the
those,
runes.
She killed all those enforcers. Like she.
Oh, that's right. I
they were
forgot it.
making
Yeah.
fun of Caitlyn.
Yeah,
Someone
that's right.
Attacked, and yeah, that's when she stole the gemstone.
So, which was your favorite episode then, Pedro?
I really, really liked 7. I really, really liked 9, and I really, really liked 3. So honestly, it's hard to choose between them. If I had to pick one, man, I don't know if I'd say 9 or 3 because I think I'm gonna go with 3. Only because
3 is really good.
I just out of every moment in the show, the last thing I expected, oh my god, the last thing I expected was it to have been Jinx's fault the whole time. Like, everything from that moment on, it's just like everything became clear. It's just, oh my god, how she fucked up so badly. And this
Well,
is like, she was
But
like
I
a-
think that's why you like episode 9 too, because at the very
Yes.
end they literally negotiate peace, and she
and
jinxes
she
that
ruins it.
too.
Yes, literally everything after episode 3 just made sense.
It's
based on
so
that
heartbreaking,
moment.
man.
I wanted to cry. Like, oh my god.
Because all she wanted to do was help in episode 3, and then in episode 9 she'd just given up. And
I think the worst
after
part is
progress
just-
was being made.
the tragedy just wouldn't stop in that moment. Like, I don't think Vi was abandoning her. Vi just was overwhelmed by the situation. She just
Yeah.
found out that her sister just killed their father figure, just killed. Oh my. The worst part is, they were going to escape. They were going to be able
Yeah, they were
literally,
gone.
the
They were
door was
out.
locked. He had just broken the wall. The last lock on his hand was broken free. They were all going to get away scot-free when the explosion happens. And just her falling out with the biggest smile on her face, thinking she has saved the day, only to show back up and see what she's actually done. And in that moment, Vi just couldn't handle it, and I mean, understandably hit her and walked away, but she didn't leave. She just
No.
went
To
around
go
the
cry,
corner to
yeah.
take a moment to herself when Soko shows up, and she's like, "Oh no, I gotta go save her." She went back for her, but what's his name? Marcus grabbed her
yeah.
and took her away. Which, by the way, I think is kind of fucked up. What was the point of saving her if he was just gonna throw her?
Yeah, I thought there was going to be something more that come from that, but
Yeah, I almost said my
he-
prediction there was
he
wrong. But
he
anyway,
used he used her arrest for the show.
promotion.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
he
I will
basically
say
used her
the
as,
Marcus character had a lot going for him in terms of being like a scumbag. They did kind of just throw him to the side in episode 7
I
and
think
have him
that's
die.
A little bit debatable. So I'm not 100% sure where I stand on Marcus as a character because it just showed a different side of the struggle where he wanted to play hero, and what he thought was being a hero at first for the side of Piltover was just like essentially shitting on Zon,
Yeah.
going in guns blazing, and then he saw what oh my god, I'm forgetting her name, the badass enforcer
Grayson.
Grayson. He saw the way she was, and he didn't realize how effective it was until it was too late. Until she died, and by then it was too late. And you can see when he goes to her grave, like how much he actually respected her. And I think in his own twisted way, even though he's accepting bribes and everything, I think that's his way of carrying on her legacy. Where he, in his head, he's only being corrupt because it keeps the peace. I think
Yes.
that's what he's thinking. And then Silco shows up in his house with
Yeah, he
his
crosses
daughter.
a line.
Yeah, when he crossed that line, I think Marcus just became terrified. He was no longer in his head being a hero. He just was cowering in fear. You can even see him hesitate to shoot Echo and Caitlyn. For a moment, he almost just let them through. But that fear of losing his daughter overwhelmed him, and he decided to do it.
Yeah.
And I think it very much was Shakespearean, the show's setup, where it was just tragedy after tragedy and just small miscommunications and small problems here and there, just ballooning into incredible amounts. And I think because of how much episode 3 influenced my perception of everything going on, I think in the end I'll say 3 was my favorite.
It's a good one, and
Yeah.
plus everything that was just going on with like not only Jinx just literally fucking up everything,
Yes.
but like episode 3 is kind of has us more attached to Vander. Those first 3 episodes get us attached to this character, which is why I'm so excited to see how they're gonna handle that return. Yeah. Because we care about him so much. You know what I mean?
I'm glad you brought that up, actually, because, again, episode 3 influencing episode 9, the Silco called Vander weak for not being willing to sacrifice someone for the cause, and in the end, that was also
wow. Yeah, wow.
To the Vander statue, and he says, "What's
He admitted
more doing than a daughter?" He admits. I think Jinx misunderstood what he was saying, but he admits that he will not trade her up. And to the final moment, Jinx is uncertain of where he lies, and in the end, I've seen people arguing this where they think he's manipulating her in the end just to shoot. I don't think that's the case. I think in his own fucked up, warped, obviously unhealthy in an actual relationship way, he truly did love Jinx. He saw himself in her being betrayed when he was betrayed by Vander, the same way she was in their head they were betrayed by Vi, and he truly did care for her. It was just this guy is a complex character. He's not simple. Yes, he's trying to build up Zon, but he's still a drug lord. He's still using child labor. He's still a piece of shit. So even though he loves Jinx, it's still toxic. But
yeah.
I thought it was really interesting how ready and willing he was to cut off all the Shimmer and cut all those guys out of business. Just when peace was on the table, he was like totally willing to do all that.
Yes,
I did appreciate how like negotiations were. You could tell that there was some leeway. Like they would have been able to make something work out, and then Jinx fucking nukes Piltover. God damn it!
Which just is so in character for her.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That last shot on episode 9 of the Super Meta Death Rocket in the glass and then they showed like one of her drawing faces. Oh my god, that
No.
I'm in love.
Alex, which episode was your favorite?
I'm thinking like I like more characters disclosure than the episodes because there was some parts in episode 6, for example, where the Vi and Jinx united. It was the only one scene when they united and was fighting against the Fireflies together.
Mm-hmm.
It was the epic scene of that, and some other one, episode 5, for example, there was an epic fight between Vi and
What's
Sabika.
her name?
Sabika.
Civica. Um, yeah, which is like described a lot about the Vi as a character. She's not like complete positive character at all. She's screwed a lot of things on her, doing things her way. Like she,
Mm-hmm.
it's like her son, definitely. Like she's such a misfit, always ready to
Mm-hmm.
fight. She could do better, but it's not the matter. It's not the point of the movie. The series showed all the characters. They're not. None of them was like perfect. They
Mm-hmm.
all has some flaws, and they just like in real life. They just exist and screw things. Jinx stayed the same. Jinx was a problem, and she was just trying to adapt to people who can like not screw a lot, not jinx every other
Mm-hmm.
thing. But
Yeah.
she realized herself in the last episode, and after she lost her Silka, she just embraced herself in that way.
Mm-hmm.
So she disclosed in her own way like this. Also Marcus, I think he's an interesting character too because he was always not in his not in his body. He always wanna do the right thing. He wanna like he wanna be a true enforcer and like holds on in his way while Graves sorry what's the name of her again?
Grayson.
Grayson has been alive. He was like following his thing, his own way, how he was believing,
Mm-hmm.
solving problems. And after she died, he tried to adapt to that, but he was still not in his shoes. He was he was dreaming of being a hero, as Silco pointed out.
Yeah.
And Silco has been manipulated him as well as other characters, obviously. And he died so he didn't make a move towards his true beliefs, and he died without doing anything he believed to.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right. I didn't even think about that. Like, he died because he decided to fire on the people that he knew were doing the right thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's true. Yeah.
his daughter, they didn't even I would appreciate like 5 frames of anime to see what's happening to
Well, the thing is,
the daughter.
remember, everything is going
Five
so
frames.
fast. Like literally
Yeah.
the
That's my least favorite part. I would
Yeah.
appreciate
we
if they
haven't- when
just-
the episode 9 ends with the rocket. I think that's like what, a day after, maybe. No, it's probably a
Yeah.
couple days, I guess.
Yeah, because I mean, you like
Oh, yeah, 'cause they discussed Marcus being a traitor. Yeah.
It's got to be a few days because
Yeah,
Vi
you're
goes
right.
and gets her gauntlets. Episode 8, I feel like had way too much stuff in it.
Yeah,
That's
that's-
why I didn't like episode 8 that much because it's like all that happens. We don't get an update on the kid. All of a sudden, all the council is aware about what happened to
Mhm.
what
Episode 8
happens
was
in
definitely
Zon.
just a setup for 9.
I know, but man, everything else is done so well. It's just a shame to see that one be so fast paced. Like,
I guess I get it because, again, they only had one episode after that, and
they had
Yeah,
to set
yeah,
up the
of course.
the
finale,
show would
Yeah.
make that much better if 8 was paced out. I don't really think so, because they literally just had to set up what was
yeah, but
happening in 9.
it's frustrating. So many things. I just like
Like
they have
what?
like
Like-
1 or 2 frames affirming Vi and Caitlyn's relationship with the mom, like looking at Caitlyn and telling her to follow Vi, but she doesn't even say anything. She just like looks at her and like nods her head to go. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right. They definitely should have done something
I
small.
was
like
missing
maybe-
details by the faster pace. I would
Yeah.
appreciate like 1 or 2 additional episodes. Why not? It's not like the history, the script already written. You just need more animation, which is, yeah, it's
Well, yeah, that's
costly,
the issue.
but it's still like it's not what has been in the development for 6 years. For six
The-
years,
Mhm.
the plot has been in development and all this characters design.
I definitely think the animation is probably what took the longest time, but because I only say that because a lot of the small storylines we see in game were definitely referenced in
Yeah.
Arcane. So as far as the story goes, they probably had that for a little bit, but I think they just wanted to release it right after Worlds. So like if they
That
have
makes
to make another
sense.
episode or two, would they have been able to ship it out in time?
Right after Worlds, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think they would have been able to. And this is the holiday season, right after the
Well,
biggest event when
Arcane was
we
supposed to
had
come
80
in
million
2020.
Chinese viewers, something like 80 million Chinese people watched Worlds. What better
Yeah.
time to release
Uh,
Arcane than when all
again-
eyes are on Riot?
Money ruined it. So we could money. We just talk. We don't want the fastest second episode. Quick. We want it more in development.
I definitely
Mhm.
get that, but we would have had to wait probably another year to get Arcane.
I personally don't really mind the fact that it definitely was distracting that episode 8 was kind of rushed towards the finale. We had to sacrifice a couple of things, like, like, do we really need to see the daughter's reaction to Marcus dying, or,
I mean, it would've been
with
a nice
Caitlyn's
touch, but I don't
mom
think
and
it
all that.
drastically changes it.
But it just helps service the finale, which is just perfect. You know what I mean? If we had to sacrifice a few things to speed some stuff up in episode 8 to get to the
Yeah, I'm
perfect
with
episode
Ricky here.
9, then I'm fine with that. Versus
I would
like,
trade a year's wait for episode 8 to be a 7 out of 10 instead of a 9 out of 10.
yeah.
I see.
So, I personally
Only
that
because episode 9 was 10 out of 10.
yeah.
Episode
Hey,
9
okay, well then give me this. Give me a voice line for Caitlyn or Vi or somebody in game about, hey, I'm looking after your daughter, thinking about you, Marcus. Something.
I'm sure it'll be addressed like next
They'll
season, or they'll
probably
just
refer-
forget about that daughter entirely, which is actually, now that I think about it, that's probably what's gonna happen. Because since
they're either going to completely ignore her, or she's going to be a character that tries to get revenge and like joins the Enforcers to like get revenge on Jinx. Or
what do you guys
in a twisted way joins Jinx, but I doubt that.
no, I don't know about
Yeah, I
that.
definitely
Because
doubt
it's
that,
technically, well, wait, I'm trying to remember. It wasn't Jinx that
It was
killed.
her,
Yeah, it
the
was
technical
her-
firelights she
Yeah.
made. Fireflies.
No,
thought
they were
it was-
actually butterflies. I went back and looked, but
I
they
thought
were
it was
butterflies.
Echoes. I thought it was Echoes fireflies that blew
No,
up
they were
and
they were
killed-
they were butterflies. They were foreshadowed because Jinx stole them all from the Progress Day thing.
I thought that was Echo sending in his shit.
No,
like-
that was Jinx. That's why she walked
oh.
up afterwards and just finished
That's-
everybody off.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. Oh, well then, yeah. Yeah, they probably won't do anything with that character then. They'll
Yeah.
probably, since Marcus is already gone, they probably just will
Well, the thing is, like,
forget about it entirely.
how would they have shown her afterwards without kind of taking away from Marcus was corrupt? Like, they can't give him like a military funeral and show her like crying at the funeral. It would kind
Yeah.
of it would make us more empathetic with him when no, this dude was corrupt.
I'd
Show her in
rather
a cage being shipped to the fucking chem mines.
I'd rather have a scene with Dr. Moon though than have his stupid fucking daughter crying about his dad. I'll say it. So
There's so many characters I still want to see. So I guess with that we could start looking ahead. What do you guys think is gonna happen, or what do you really would like to see happen? I guess.
So here's
yeah.
I'm gonna go off on what I think will happen in the grand scheme of the show. This show has potential to show things that are kind of out, and it kind of did tease it at the end with Brick Shithouse Mel's mom showing up. And it's what is happening outside of Piltover or Zon, meaning like, we have these characters that we want to see in Zon and Piltover, and this isn't necessarily like something I hope it happens in season 2, but maybe in like a season 3, season 4, we start seeing some other locations like Noxus or
We're
Ionia.
definitely gonna see Noxus.
I think Noxus will happen in season 2, but like,
we already
stuff
see
that's...
it, like partially.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess, yeah, we had like that one little scene.
Noxus
Yeah.
come first for the war.
So, Sal, we were talking about this in private a little bit. we have differing theories on what's happening in Nazis right now. Do you want to talk about your theory, and then I'll talk about
Right.
mine?
So my theory is that this battle that has kind of kicked off that they're alluding to, and Mel's mother, which I forget her name, I'll just call her Brick Shithouse. The Brick Shithouse
Did they
was
even say
saying
her name?
that her, they definitely say her name. I guess they call her Mrs. Medarda. So,
Medarda.
Okay.
I like
so
Brick Shithouse.
yeah, Brick Shithouse was saying that Mel's brother died, and he was killed in some sort of battle.
Mbessa, apparently is her name. Mbessa.
So this is taking place. Well, this could be taking place at the same time that Noxus is invading Ionia. And so my theory was that Noxus has to use at some point they're going to use singed weapons against Ionia. And the reason they use singed weapons against Ionia is because of Master Yi and Wuju. So my theory is that they went and invade Ionia, and now they're a lot of Ionians fought back, like Aurelia and Riven. Not Riven. I can't remember. Like
Karma?
some of the other tribes.
Aurelia, Karma,
Some of Yasuo's tribes, stuff like
yeah,
that.
Kennen.
So I think that this is going to kind of open that can of worms. So she came to Mel looking for these weapons, and Mel's going to tell her no. So then they're going to turn to the brand new nation that just came out with
Oh, yeah.
singed horrible weapons. And so that's kind of my theory of what they're going to go with it.
That's a good theory.
Do you think Jinx will have any kind of relationship with Singed? Like,
No,
I can't
she's random.
see it anymore. Yeah,
I,
not
yeah,
anymore.
I can't.
It's
Since
possible
Soko's
that
out of the
she'll
mix.
It's possible she'll have to keep coming back to him for more Shimmer, because, I mean...
Oh, I forgot
a
she is
lot
on
of
that
the
shit
people who
now.
use
Yeah.
Shimmer have to constantly take it.
I don't know if
So
they
it's
have
possible
to. I
she'll
think they're
have-
just
No,
addicted.
yeah, they get addicted. Victor is able to kick it, and I think that she probably could too.
I just.
But I'm not sure if it ever totally leaves your system, though. I think it was kind of
The thing
interesting.
is, Shimmer now, when it was given to her, is more advanced than it was before. Like you saw the
Yeah.
addicts
Yeah.
and how much it worked them, but to Jinx, it didn't do anything. It turned their eyes purple, and that was it.
Yeah,
It's
and
come
she
out
also
together.
she was able to do that. What I really liked is whatever she was able to close the ground on Caitlyn, and it was like her passive get excited. I thought that was really
Yes, I
cool.
thought the same thing. Literally, when she did that, I was like, "Wait, who'd she kill? She just got excited."
I wish in the new June skin they add this effect for the speeding up after killing.
The shimmer.
Yeah, like
That'd
shimmer,
be cool. Oh my god, like
Yeah.
a purple trail behind her.
Yeah. Pepper trail, something like that.
That'd be cool as shit. I like that.
Hmm
Okay, so my theory for what's happening that what did I say her name is? Ambessa Medarda. What I think is happening is, so I might be misremembering the lore, but I know that Swain starts to rise up because he starts essentially riding out on the, what are they called? The black
The Black Rose.
yeah, the Black Rose. But at some point he loses a battle with Ionia and almost dies, and the king of Nazis essentially betrays him and sides with the Black Rose and tries to get rid of him. And that's when he finds whatever that demon is that he finds. I can't remember the name of.
Raum.
Rom. Yeah. Is that thing wait, is that a Darkin?
No, it's just one of the demons.
Okay, so yeah, he finds the demon. He basically starts to control it, and then he starts to rapidly rise in power. He starts destroying everything. So what I'm thinking is either Medarda is somehow related to the Black Rose, and that's why he's coming after her, or just in general, like maybe they were on the side of the Black Rose, or maybe they did something, and now this is Swain starting to rise up in power. And the reason I think this is because several times in the last episode, they constantly would have ravens or crows, whatever it is that Swain has, in the scene, like watching. And a couple of those times I thought was like kind of weird why they were there. And then someone on Reddit mentioned, what if that's Swain watching what's going on? And that's why I think he might be interested in seeing what exactly Ambessa is doing over in Piltover, because he wants to make sure she doesn't get strong enough to fight him or whatever, or he just wants information on what's coming. And I think it might be the rise of Swain over in Noxus, because right now in game Zaun exists.
Yes.
In game Swain is in control, but right now Zaun doesn't exist. So the timelines are kind of wonky. We don't know what's up with Camille. We don't know what's up with Skarner. So something's
Yeah.
might not line up right now. So we don't know where in the timeline it is. Has Nasus already invaded Ionia, or is this before?
Right.
So it's possible it's the rise of Swain, and that's who she's scared of. But that'll remain to be seen.
Do you
And-
guys think that because we think that this is kind of following League lore and all that, but do you think they'll kill off any of the League of Legends characters
This
during
is
the run line
definitely
of the
something
show?
I've been very, very curious.
I've been
about.
curious about this
I
because
hope not.
that's
Well, that actually lines up with a little bit of what I was just saying. Because of the timelines right now, that obviously this being pre-Zon means that obviously War can't die, Jinx can't die, Vi can't die. 90% of the characters that are in game technically right now cannot die because they have literally not made it to the point they are in League.
Mhm.
Now, once we get to that point, what is Riot going to do? And that actually kind of brings up something I've been thinking about. Do you think this show is more enjoyable as a League player or someone who has no foundation? Where
It has to be more enjoyable as a League player because of all the tie-ins.
Yeah,
I know we
you can
enjoy the
enjoy-
tie-ins, but to us, we know these characters aren't going to die. All we're watching for is to see their backstory.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
watching,
So you're saying it's
like-
more suspenseful if you don't know
Yes.
League of Legends.
because to someone who's not watching League of Legends, to them, Jinx could die, Vi can die, Caitlyn could die, Jace could die, Victor could. They have no idea that. Victor's
Yeah, because they
gonna-
also did kill off characters that felt as important as they did.
Yes, to them, they don't
Yes.
know Vander's not a champion. To them, they think Vander's dead. They probably don't know he's going to become work because they don't have the base knowledge that we have. So to us, it's like, oh my god, it's really cool. So this is where war comes from. Oh my god, that Singed is going to become even more maniacal.
I see what
To
you
them,
mean,
They're just
yeah.
thinking, damn, the scientists just barely survived that explosion. Damn, this Silco guy literally gets shot and dies. Damn, Vander basically became Dr. Mundo for a few seconds and then died. I wonder what happened to him.
Yeah.
To them, they have no idea. So to them, any of these characters at any moment could die.
It came Dr.
Well, you
Mundo.
said more enjoyable though, and I think that's kind of the wrong way. I think more anxiety-inducing or whatever because I have quite a few people on my at my work that have watched the show that have never played League at all, and they're just talking to me about the show, and they are asking me questions because I play League, and they're asking me all these questions, and I'm explaining like the different theories, like the Warwick theory and all this other stuff, and they are like glued to every word I'm saying. They think it's the coolest thing ever. They're like, "Oh, who is this
Like,
character?
when
So
I
when do they
watch
show up?" And I'm like showing them
Yeah.
pictures of the characters and stuff, and they're like losing their minds. They're like
Yeah, and
so
that's what I mean.
excited.
We are excited because we have a baseline of idea what's coming, and we are guessing of when it shows up. To them, this is a brand new world. This is like anything's a possibility. When we show them work, to them it's like, oh my god, that's so cool. To us, it's just, yeah, we knew it was coming.
Well,
So it's
Pedro-
kind of like watching an anime that you have no idea about, and then starting to read the manga to get like more information. I think personally, I think that might be a little bit more enjoyable, but I'm not sure because of how much I'm enjoying this currently.
Mm-hmm. It's the same, like you said, with like reading the manga if you already know that before you watch a show, or like if you read A Song of Ice and Fire before you watched Game of Thrones, at least the early seasons, or like if
Yeah.
you read Invincible, the comic book series, or the Walking Dead comic book series before you watch those shows, and you're like as a fan of the book or comic that the television series is based off of, or in this case, the video game,
Yeah.
you are looking forward to these events play out on screen. I can speak from someone that a while ago when I did like The Walking Dead, there was a lot of moments that I was really looking forward to seeing with my own eyes versus, after I had read it in a comic book. But
Well, that's the thing too. They can't be set up for baseline disappointments, where like it's so common when anything is adapted, where they're every single time the comments are the book was better, or oh they left this out, or
Yeah.
they didn't do this.
Mhm.
Every single time. No matter
Actually,
what,
Pedro, you
will be
convinced me.
disappointed by
I'm
something.
convinced that the people that are just watching the show are enjoying it more because they don't have to play League of Legends.
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they
Because-
haven't subjected themselves to torture just to get that enjoyment.
Just
The
to,
League of
just to
Legends,
scratch
they
that
wrote their
arcane
lore.
itch.
It's just so ambiguous that they're able to do this stuff, they almost can't disappoint us because this is stuff that we never even knew. You know,
Yes,
like
I was gonna mention that's why I think it's not quite the same as like someone who's read a manga or read a book, because they have intentionally left Vi's and Jinx's backstory so vague that even we don't know exactly what's happening. Like we
yeah,
have
they
an
wouldn't
idea.
confirm that they were sisters for how many years?
I didn't know that. I always thought it was just
It was
confirmed that.
by a writer on Reddit. I want to say 2 or 3 years ago. But the weird thing is, when he confirmed it, he said Jinx was older. So
he didn't know what he was talking about.
Yeah.
Rogue
either
Rider.
he didn't know what he was talking about. Like he either misheard it or it got changed.
Yeah. Like with this thing, sorry, I didn't put my word when you're talking about Echo developing his time weapon, but I swear I saw in some short movie or somewhere that he found the item that helped him
Yeah, it was in
upgrade himself.
it was the Legends of Runeterra short when with Heimerdinger, Echo, I want to say Jinx and the
Don't remember
Helper.
Hammer didn't help him, so that was
Yeah,
my.
Heimerdinger was in the short as
I'm
well.
on your side on that too. I don't like him being helped, so maybe.
I agree. That short is the reason I thought about that was in that short he finds the gemstone and is able to make the rocket board that he rides. So it shows that.
Is that the
potentially
one
do it?
with this random fucker that Heimerdinger's talking to on the street, and then
the
Jinx
assistant.
takes it? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And add into your add in Vision from somewhere who playing League but not dives in deep to the lore. I wouldn't notice the Warwick story, the vendor becoming, if not your
Right.
theories you shared.
Yeah.
Because first of all, I don't care about like sounds and background because I get used to some sounds used for memes. It's like Easter eggs. There's
Yeah.
literally one sound that used in every movie, every
Yeah.
blockbuster, and I wouldn't be surprised by Warwick and the ninth episode in the Singed Lab. I would just assume it's just he come in the next season.
Season?
It's not what I used to think that Warwick is coming. He looked more like Mundo. You're right. So
Yeah.
it's not ruining that for me.
I see.
When
that.
does Mundo come into Arcane? Let's just talk about that right now.
It's something in the middle. So my vision is something in the middle. So I'm not disappointed that much, and I'm not
That's
predicting too much.
That's
And-
actually something I hadn't considered. I didn't think about people who play League but don't really care about the lore, or maybe just.
See, that was me. I didn't. I don't
Right.
hardly know anything about the lore. Just the little
But
tidbits that you
did
guys
dive,
tell me.
and I didn't. I just
So
Yeah.
enjoyed.
Alex
These
has the
guys are
worst
really cool. I
possible
didn't think of that.
experience. No lore, only League of Legends.
Yeah, the worst possible experience is just don't watch Arcane, only grind solo queue all day.
Yeah. So
Um,
would be disappointed if some characters, League characters, died because I would like to play the open story. I would like to play characters that I know still alive and they fighting for something. Like it's open between Y and Jinx. I would like to
right.
gang by Y. I don't want them die, and I want to be sure they're not dying. So it's my point.
If
That's-
I'm playing a
that's
League
super
character,
interesting.
they're for sure gonna die.
I'm just not. Is it worth sacrificing the quality of the show by having all these characters be untouchable?
Yeah, but so that's the thing. Some characters don't have to be untouchable. And this is where I want to open up this can of worms where they have killed people before.
In the
And
lore,
when
yeah.
they killed them, you could not play them in the game. They disabled them.
That has only happened one time ever, and he was immediately brought back a week later. But
Yeah, but a week is a long time.
No one. Well, the huge issue was they did this just before Worlds patch when Gameplank was absolutely busted, so no one could practice him, and people complained about it. But the whole idea was that
I don't remember this. Who was it?
it was Gameplank.
Gangplank. Remember, Misfortune
so
killed him.
Misfortune.
Actually,
they
yeah, no, I do remember that.
Yeah, they capture Misfortune. She escapes, shoots him, and he falls into the sea. And then they disabled him for a week, saying he's dead. He's out of the game. And then they bring him back with a new skin, and that became base Gangplank when they reworked him. But
Wow.
I remember
that's
that.
cool.
That was crazy. Everyone was like, "What the hell is going on?" And then a week later, everyone obviously was complaining because Worlds was coming up and no one could practice. of Reddit bitching as they usually do.
Yeah,
but
just Reddit.
whatever. That I want to say was that 5 or 6. I want to say it was 5 because it was the same patch as Juggernaut. Because that was when
I missed that.
Mordekaiser could still get the dragon. Now,
So do you think they'll do it again? Like, let's say
that's
in the
the thing.
show, will they
How are
kill
they gonna bring the
Jinx?
character back if they?
So here's what I'm thinking about. It's the first 3 episodes, right? First 3 episodes happen. There is who knows what happens. Something happens. Jinx shoots a Mega Death Rocket, kills everybody inside that facility on episode 3, right? So Jace is dead, Victor's dead, Caitlyn's dead, Vi's, everybody's dead, right? And then so a week, everybody's disabled. Everybody's like, what the fuck? How? What are they gonna do? Echo rips the cord on a Z drive, goes back in time, and saves them, and then everybody's re-enabled again.
I can see where you're going with the logic. I don't think that would hold up, only because obviously Z Drive hasn't been invented yet. But
Right. I'm just saying,
he's talking about further down the line.
About future
they
possibilities.
could figure out a way to kill them, disable them for a few days, and bring them back. Especially that they're going to invent Z Drive. That's something I didn't consider. That's really cool.
They have Singe to resurrect with Shimmer, some kind of, if you need to redesign character again.
Yeah, I guess if they're going to rework a character, they could.
That's
do
what
it.
I was thinking also. Yeah.
Well, what I want to know is, will Riot permanently kill a character and basically in game it's just a different canon?
I don't think so.
My
I think
point,
everything
if you
leads
kill
up
a
to game
character,
canon.
You should kill it forever. Like, I hate all this resurrecting thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, I think it's fine if it's like, that one time where you're not expecting it, and it's like, holy shit, that's huge.
It's
But if people
no, you know.
keeps being resurrected, yeah, it becomes
Yeah,
fucking
they'd have
stupid.
if they're doing it on work, that's their only time to do it. They really can't do it again.
Yeah. It's overused, so it's kind of cliche and bad.
Yeah, I agree.
I
But
think
when
they
if end
shouldn't
up killing
do
a
that
character-
in the show. I don't care what they do for the champions in the video game. I think it is cool if they decide to kill a character in the show that they do what they did and like make the character in the game unplayable for like a week or whatever. But I don't think like Selden, you were talking about like Echo going back in time and saving them in the show. I just don't think if you're
that's-
watching a
it's
show
cheesy.
for the story, yeah, it's cheesy as fuck. Yeah,
Well,
like a character.
once maybe. Where
I hope
characters
that
are.
I hope that they have the balls to kill off League characters in the
Yes.
show in the future.
That's my biggest question going into season 2, because right now they literally cannot kill Victor or Jace because Victor has not become Victor yet. Obviously,
They can't. Well, they can't kill any of the characters.
Yeah,
They're
really,
where
none
they're
of
at
them-
in the game right
And
now.
no one's at the present yet. So
Vi's
literally
not an
they can't kill
enforcer yet, or like
I would say you
What-
can.
What I'm saying is, once we get to that point, I hope they kill somebody.
I do
We-
too. Yeah.
They could do better. They could do more like the story with the Victor and his assistant. Like, they made more than kill them. They destroyed him. So you don't have to kill characters to make a good story. You can
That
do
is true.
some horrible things, and it just depends on your the quality of the content of the writers and the skill of storytelling.
That's a
It's
good
time
point.
for
Yeah.
involving.
What
Boy, that-
characters could they kill? Like from the game, what characters
Sto-
could they
it's-
kill and it would
This
make
one
sense?
The absolute biggest one would be Jinx.
Yeah, Jinx is
It will
the
literally
obvious
be a
one.
Batman
Yeah.
versus Joker moment.
Jace already died once. She blown herself on a grenade.
Yeah, but she didn't die. She
No, she
like
didn't die. She was hurt. She was
Yeah.
almost died. But
Yeah,
I'm
she-
talking about Vi versus Jinx, or like if you guys watched the Superman remake a few years ago, where he's fighting his brother or uncle, whatever it is, and he has to snap his neck at the end. I'm literally picturing something like that, where it's you don't have a choice. You have to kill Jinx. There's no more pussyfooting around. It's
Oh,
either
for
you kill
Vi,
her,
yeah.
or she will continue to wreak havoc. And it's just Vi, like in the fight between Echo and Jinx, where he like hesitates, and then Jinx is able to escape. I'm thinking
Mhm.
no, literally just Vi pounding and pounding and pounding with no sound playing, and all we see at the end is just Jinx dead. Like that would absolutely blow any League of Legends player. Like they would not expect that.
see. I
Yeah,
think what's
any
gonna happen.
show watcher wouldn't as well.
Yeah.
I think what's
I
gonna
would
happen.
not, because Jinx is a character. She's a good background character who does some twists, like inevitable twists in any story. Like you can put her on the background of any story to screw things up and just develop it. So like the Jinx is the worst character to kill in my opinion.
Really? Who do you think
Yeah,
would be
but I
the
think
best?
in service of this story, Jinx's death would make sense down the
They
road.
focused a lot on her, but I wasn't feeling it. Like I wasn't feeling they should focus that much. She's like a storm. She's like just side effect of all what's happening. The main story is Noxus coming, the war is coming, and she will be like just a random anarchic character.
She's literally Joker. That's what
Well,
she's based on.
in
She's
the
a
in the
Harley Quinn
lore,
Joker hybrid.
they're always chasing her. I don't really think it makes sense to kill her. I think they're
Yeah.
writing Savika as the new Silco so
Yes.
that they can kill her.
Yeah, but that's the thing. We're talking about killing League champions. Like,
All right, well,
I don't-
Definitely will be.
put in.
you know what I mean? Like,
You
yeah,
could
that's
probably kill off Dr. Mundo if you made him a character. You could probably get away with that.
they'll probably kill
Yeah,
off
but then it
Warwick
just feels
if
so
they
cheap.
bring.
I want to
You
You
could
could
Yeah.
probably kill off Camille.
Yeah, but
That's
so the
interesting.
point is they've built this show on Jinx and Vi from the first season. Like, it just.
I
Oh,
just
it
think,
will-
yeah, I
it
get
will
what you're
change.
saying, but
Yeah.
as the main bad person, I don't even think they're setting up Jinx as a main bad person. Like if she
Yes.
was,
Really?
then they could kill
I
her
mean,
like
she
that.
did just
I don't
nuke
know. I
Piltover.
disagree.
That's
I don't
pretty
think- I don't
bad.
think she's a main bad person. I think it's going to be Savika.
With episode 9, they just set her up as such a terrifying fucking character.
It's-
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
It's
she's
a
not going to be like
every
Savika
scene
running
she
the
was in,
underground.
It
I-
doesn't matter if she's like Savika or not. She's still a bad person. She
Yeah,
literally.
but I just don't. I don't see it as like if Jin was the main bad person, I could see them killing Jin.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because of the Dead Jinx video, I think it's just setting up Jinx as the main bad guy. It's the story going forward is going to be, in my opinion, is going to be Vi and Caitlyn as enforcers chasing down. They are going to be the Batman to Jinx's Joker. Literally,
That's a very
the
good
story. Obviously, there will be
analogy.
things
Yeah.
happening in the background around them. Not the whole Nazi situation. Does Piltover make weapons? Obviously, they end up doing it.
My
Does
bad, it
Naxos
will
turn to the
change.
Chemtech?
My bad. It is focusing in first season. It's focusing a lot on the relationship, and the Jinx is like the baddest guy in a season. But the next season will definitely change, in my opinion. Like I think.
I
that's not
agree.
bad.
I will agree. I think there will
It'll
be a
different
new
story from
storyline.
different point of view and different style, probably.
Well,
is there
no,
more-
I think we'll still. So basically, he's saying that, like, you know, how this season was mainly about Vi and Jinx and, like, what went down between them. He's saying that for season 2, there will be a different plot to motivate the
I
characters.
could see that being the case, but I could also see it just.
I wouldn't
continuing.
like it, of course, because I like Piltover and Zon champions the most. But the story will be more massive. It will be more.
I do think they will.
They already
expand
started
more.
opening the Noxus door.
Yeah,
Exactly.
They're definitely
Yes.
going to expand into the greater Runeterra universe, but I don't think. I think that will be the secondary.
I think there's a lot of characters you can kill in League, and
Yeah.
none of them are Jinx.
All right,
Yeah,
we-
see,
we-
the thing
let's
is,
split it
like,
aside.
League is one thing. I'm talking about
I think
Arcane
it's
as
the first time that we've
itself.
actually been split.
Yeah, which is good. I mean,
Yeah,
it's,
I like that.
I
So-
do too.
I was hoping the Mel will be the next character because she has an interesting like they could make some cool abilities with her. She's obsessed with the power and money. They could make her like farm more in League or something like that. She wearing gold, like that's a
Well,
lot.
they
But
already made her
Yeah,
mom a
yeah.
character.
Mel would be a really good character if, you know, she didn't get blown the fuck up at the end of this
Okay,
episode.
Okay.
Yes, that's what-
Finally,
was
I can
my-
talk about this.
wait, it was my
Okay, so go ahead.
Yeah, let Alex. Yeah.
route to that. So I want her to leave, but her death opens a lot of like lines with the Jace
Yes.
development character
Yes.
and
It's-
her mom development. So she
Yes.
was the latest person who weakened the Miss Madara,
Yes.
her mom, and then she will be able to move and be more aggressive, be more oppressive, and
Her death would service the story a lot
Yeah,
better than
yeah.
if she lived.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm split on whether she dies or not. Because
She has
she
to
wasn't- yeah,
to
she
make
wouldn't
it
be a
hit that
character
much
then.
harder.
no,
Aside
okay,
from
so,
Jace and Victor, the only character you really care about in that room is Mel. And if they kill Mel,
His mom cannot die.
no, she's dead as
Yes,
She
shit.
can. Yes, she
No,
can. She's
it's
dead in the lore.
Based on current lore, that's not where she dies. It is. explicitly.
So here's the thing. I bet you they
I know
veer
they can
off
change
of
it. I
current
know they
lore.
can change it, but based on current lore, her mom and dad were both killed by a specific person in a very like Batman origin story way.
Well,
Yeah, yeah,
I
but
could see them changing that for
that's
this
a
show.
minute detail. She's dead.
Yeah.
Like the biggest thing is she's dead.
My
And she
point
does
is
die.
that Mel, aside from Jason Victor, Mel is the only character that you care about in that tower. You don't give a shit about Caitlyn's mom. She's been a
Yeah.
bitch the whole show. Mel's the only one that was actually
Which is the
good.
fakest- Yeah,
Exactly.
Oh my God, I was
So
so
Mel's
pissed at
death-
Episode 1.
Will service that storyline between Jason Victor and the Brick Shithouse.
A lot.
And I'm very interested to see how Brick Shithouse reacts to Mel's death.
Yes,
if she
yes.
cares.
She probably doesn't even care.
Forward, I agree.
You're probably right, Selden. She probably goes to Zahn, goes to Singed, and that's where she gets her fucking
Yeah.
weapons. We probably need to kind of wind this down because we've been going for over an hour.
Okay, real quick.
But
So
yeah.
this is
Any
my
last minute? We'll do a last round. We'll go through the four of us. Any last like topics that we want to discuss, theories or
All right.
whatever.
Last
You know,
crazy ideas.
Yeah.
this-
So
maybe I should have saved the Mel thing for last, but so my last thing I want to say is I am now 100% confident that Shimmer is Void related because when
Why?
they showed that factory of the kids like mining and everything, there's like I think they show it twice. They show a shot of like where the Shimmer's coming from. They look down into like basically a cavern, and it looked so Void like. It literally looked exactly. how
I should have been paying a
imagine
little bit more
Void.
attention on that part. I
I'll
gotta
have to go back to that.
And
Yeah.
when they show the what is the gemstone whatever with the runes and everything around it, when
The hex
after
core.
the hex core after it takes his blood that has Shimmer in it, that thing looked so Void like. It literally became like a sentient creature
Mhm.
where it mixed Void technology with rune technology with it was just crazy. That to me, that moment and me seeing the cavern, I was like, okay, Shimmer is 100% Void. And crap, me saying that means I can't say my other theory. Fuck.
Next person's little theory.
We'll go
they
with
wanna share?
Alex. You got anything you want to talk about to close out?
I would like to leave all characters open because that's what I enjoy. I don't like think too much into because the more it open, the more I will be impressed by the series, and it's not that fun when you like assuming and predicting all the lines and that. Well, like I like all the characters except Chase. Fuck this guy. He was less introduced. He's impulsive. He's incompetent and like he a bad trader. Like despite what you said, he couldn't trade anything and he's really weak and poor builded. Like while Victor has been working on the hex tech and thing, oh like it's not his fault. It's how they showed him. He was working out on the fucking lab doing his weapons, kind of,
Mhm.
and basically give up the gauntlets to the Vi without any to the enemy without any and then ask to give him back like
He's got the Virgin Chad mindset as opposed to the Victor Sigma
exactly,
mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah and the way he promoted and being manipulated by Mel is it's so unpleasant to watch. That's all.
Been there.
I think it's like what you said earlier on. Every character has their flaws. He's just a super young person that
Has
He's
all
not
this power
interested
all of a
at this.
sudden.
Other
Yeah.
characters they interesting because they real. Like Jinx cannot stop to fuck up.
He's real. He every decision he makes, he regrets immediately.
And he's
after.
also
a
not
very human
selfish.
person. He just keeps messing up.
He cares about other people and like he's willing to talk to fucking Silco and work shit out. And he's willing to give them their independence.
It's like he's posing. He's like Superman. He's like, oh, I'm a good guy. I'd rather be there. Marcus is much better because he cannot act like he would like. But Jace is like, oh, I wanna do. Let's fuck up Hammer. Let's get him out. He's a Merisiu of this serial.
Yeah, it's him in that scene. He was being manipulated, and then immediately after, he was like, "Oh, did I make a mistake? Should I have done that?" Everything he does.
I keep doing that. Okay, I keep doing that.
Yeah,
That's how I play League of Legends.
He's not developing
Yeah.
at all.
Mhm.
He was he was hypocrite and he kept be hypocrite.
I do
Because,
agree.
like,
I think
yeah.
out of every character, Jace is probably the weakest from lead.
Worst, in my opinion, too.
Yeah, I could agree with that. I think.
Like
I don't think he was bad. I just don't think he stood out.
he's random. Let's not do it by force. Next episode, he's like going with Y to destroy the Shimmer Factory without any approval.
Yeah,
or
he
voting.
was definitely back and forth on his shit. I will say that. Yeah.
Oh, I killed the boy, and he leaves the scene, and Vi goes along her way, forehead, fighting the Sevika, sorry. So
Yeah, he definitely was the most flimsy character. I agree.
and the episode 8 and episode 3 is not my favorite as well because how dense it is, how tight it is, put it up, and kind of in some cases random. I like how like they introduced Hammer in couple of frames going into Zon, and it fit good, but a lot of things like I said, the Marcus Dora, it's missing. It's missing from that.
Yeah.
I feel that's what I agree. Heimerdinger getting what do you call it? What's
Zon?
the word? No, what's the word?
Removed?
Impeach.
Impeach!
Heimerdinger impeached was the best thing that's happened to that old man.
Dude, literally, he was so out of his depth, or not depth. He was so like that. Dude was the most like entitled. He just didn't have perspective. Like,
No.
And I also like how he was about to
Nobody
leave
was
and go
having
back
fun.
to Piltover after trying to help like two
Oh, yeah.
fucking people. He tried to help two people and he's like, well, I can't do shit here. Time to go back on the boat. And then he
that dude
runs
is
into
literally
Echo.
The definition of like the 6-foot like rich attractive guy like talking to like the freaking like degenerate, being like, yeah, just get a girlfriend, bro. Just like be rich, bro.
Yeah, I didn't believe they actually impeached him, but the way they introduced him further to the Zon and like keep showing him, I like that. So I accept that, but not Jace.
Well.
So my one theory, Rio is Oriana and Oriana is Singe's daughter.
That's literally when I said fuck, I can't talk about my last name.
Who?
That's what I was talking about.
Rio is Oriana and Oriana is Singe's daughter.
Yes.
That little glass, if you look at it close, it looks so much like Oriana. That
Oh,
little,
really? I haven't looked at
locket
it.
he's holding at the end. It looks so much.
That's what we were
like
talking
Oriana.
about in Snapchat yesterday.
Yeah.
Andrew and them don't agree with me, and I know it's a little bit far fetched.
No,
but-
it's not. Singe lore is canon. He used to, and if you look, Singe in his lore used to be a toy maker in Piltover, which is why he was interested in Victor's little toy.
Yes.
It makes way too much sense to me.
And also, I saw a few people talk about it like, oh, but that person has a name. It's like, yeah, Jinx used to be Powder. Why can't Singed have been that guy?
Yeah, that's it. His name isn't Singed. He is
like,
Singed.
It doesn't make sense. Singed is just his character name because
They never
he
say
got
his
burned.
name. They call
He's
him the
credited
Doctor.
as Singed.
Yeah, but that's just because the
They
game.
say his name a couple times.
No, I'm talking about like
subtitles,
in
right?
this.
So-
Yeah.
No, they actually like. I could have sworn they.
No,
were, like,
they never
if you
say
go
his
to
name. They
Singed-
say
They
the
never
Doctor.
they never
Yeah.
say Singed. Yes, you're right, but I
Are you-
think
are
he's
you sure?
credited.
Yes.
Yes. They
Wow.
never call him Singed. He is
Wow.
Singed, but they never call him
They
that.
might have said it at some point, but I didn't realize they never say it.
No, they only call him the Doctor.
Wow.
If they call him the Doctor, then who are they gonna call Mundo?
Mundo's not a real doctor.
There
Yeah,
are a lot of
I
doctors.
think that I agree with that theory. I think that's gonna happen. I'm not sure if Rio is Ori or if like he basically
Named
took
her after her.
Yeah, named it after her, or took her soul and put it into Rio. Because remember how adamant he is about Rio can't die.
Yes.
She must live on.
Yes.
It would make sense for him to be the father of Oriana. Now, the
Yes,
thing
and
people keep
Oriana
saying
has a
is-
soul.
Yes. And the thing people keep talking about is he doesn't mess with mechanical shit. Like, dude, this guy's like a scientist doctor. I'm sure he can do more than just chem tank. Or he just partners with Victor and they kind of make the basis themselves.
He made Savika's arm. What do you mean?
Yeah.
Sure. I didn't
And he
think
made
of that.
he
Yeah.
made War's claws. What do you mean he doesn't do mechanical shit?
Yeah, like literally it holds up. Like I think that's gonna be the case.
Okay, so I guess we'll go. I'll branch off of that for my final thing that I'll talk about. Is I can see that being a thing. However, Singed already has a lot of shit that's gonna go on with him in the next season.
This guy literally, he was there for JFK's assassination. He was on the moon when
Literally.
the astronauts landed. This guy is connected to everything that has ever happened.
Yes.
This guy was
Anything
in the
bad,
2000s.
anything bad that's happened. If someone had a good moment in League of Legends, it's because they hadn't met Singed yet.
This guy was literally in the plane. He was driving the plane that hit the Twin Towers. Like, this guy is literally connected to everything.
Singed and Victor are best second scene beta characters, nerdy characters introduced. The way how they shown, I was like impressed by their how they holding up in a whole story, and like they have their own world and they adapting, and it's like it's so cool. They keep doing his things on behind. Like he has his own mind, his own. So it's not like just minion of Silco. He has a lot to develop on, and Victor is the same thing. Like Victor is much more interested at Jace coming from
Victor
in the scene.
This is actually something I wanted to ask you guys. I think Victor is my favorite character in Arcane overall. Either Victor or Silco, and I was going to ask you guys what your favorite character is, but obviously we got
Charity's favorite is Silco and then Victor.
Yeah, for me it's 1A and 1B.
Silco was not like a character I didn't really care about until the final 3 episodes. After the final 3, he's probably, I don't know if he's my favorite, but he's definitely like top like 3 for me, because I thought he was just a dirty, rotten little rat, but they went into they humanized him so well in these final 3 that he's definitely one of my favorite characters, and I'm glad that he died this season. I'm glad that they didn't drag his storyline out. Yeah, I fucking hope not.
Put a cute mask on him, you know? Teach him to count to 4.
Turn him into Warwick 2.
People that believe that theory are so silly.
Marcus's daughter actually saves him because she saw him with Marcus and thinks they're friends.
Marcus is, I thought they said Karthus. I'm like, how does Karthus tie into this?
Introduce Marcus's daughter again. She saves Silco.
A fun fact: Marcin has been terrified by Silco in the first 3 episodes. He was like disappointed by him in second 3 episodes because he was like basic mafia boss, not interested, and like she was really into him in the latest 3rd episodes.
I agree. The second trilogy, or I don't know if
that's
the second part,
the act
kind of made him seem like a generic villain.
Perfect transition. Yeah, that's development.
So good.
Yeah, you really don't understand. I thought it was so cool, like the dynamics between him and Vander, and how he thought he could run at such a different ship, and then he realized, like, you see him in the one scene sighing, like, ugh, like I can't believe I have to do all this stuff, and it's the exact same thing that he was yelling at Vander for, and at the very end, he had to go admit to Vander that he was wrong.
Yep.
It was changed, It's changed so rapidly.
I love what they did with this character.
Yeah.
But so anyway, I don't remember where we were branching off.
You had to do your last crazy theory.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I don't know. I think Jinx is gonna try to kill Vi, and then Master Yi will alpha out of nowhere and save her.
Where's Mundo? Where's Mundo playing?
Hold on, you didn't let me fucking finish. And then Master Yi is gonna grab Vi, and they're gonna run away, and then Mundo's gonna try to hit Yi with a cleaver with a Q. But since Yi ulted, he can't be slowed, and they're just gonna get away. That's my crazy ass fucking theory. No, but for real, I did think that Mundo was gonna happen second season. I don't think he will now, since Warwick wasn't.
It's hard to.
It'd be hard to. I'm sure that they'll, like they did for Warwick, I'm sure for Mundo they will do little Easter eggs and little tidbits leading to, possibly. Now, it's hard to say because we have no idea where they're going to go. We just know that it's going to focus on the aftermath of what Jinx did, and that Warwick's going to come into play somehow. That's all we really know about Season 2. They could go anywhere with it, and that's what's exciting.
I think we're gonna get several more characters. If they don't kill Mel, I think it'll be too crowded to introduce too many new characters.
Yeah.
So we probably won't get that many.
So no,
I think more Zon.
I think Mel's dead. I think that Jace is gonna change from this because Victor's gonna be a completely different person after surviving that encounter. I think that Caitlyn will have no fucking mercy on Jinx whenever she gets the chance because Jinx will have now
'cause it
killed
killed
her
her
mom.
Holy shit, I didn't think of that.
And Vi will finally let Powder go and realize that Powder's gone. I think that's what this was.
I hope she never. They literally say nothing will ever change that.
Yeah, but then she fucking
Yeah,
nuked.
she also said, "I'll never leave you again," and then proceeded to leave her 3
Yeah.
more times.
Yeah.
She will not anymore. She
Jinx
will not
POV.
anymore.
Literally,
In the
beginning,
I'll never
when-
leave you, as she literally walks away.
When she playing the game, she's still into her. She interact her. She keep like so. I'm playing in present
that's
time.
the point, yeah.
I
So-
just love the story, like never ending story of him. So I
Yeah,
would
the eternal
appreciate
fate.
that.
I love it
I
too,
just
but
didn't realize Echo was the same age as Vi, or as Jinx. I always thought Jinx was the same age as Vi, so it's actually really cool that we got to see that dynamic between them.
I know.
So that's
looked
my
much
theory.
older.
My favorite character was Echo. I take it back.
I was gonna say mine is probably Echo because
Echo's my third, yeah.
yeah,
Mine is,
Echo, Silco,
mine
and
is
honestly
Silco,
Vi. I really like
Victor,
Vi.
Silco, Echo.
I thought Vi was a really solid character. But,
Also, Alex, if
yes.
you ever call Victor and Singe betas again, they are Sigma males.
all right.
All right, let's
He
wrap
tried.
this.
He got a girlfriend. Take your word.
He vaporized her because he doesn't need those distractions.
He friendship her for years, bro, and then he just Thanos her in one touch. She touched her like first touch. She touched her like she touched her favorite boy, and she Thanos
Nice.
instantly.
It's
That's
like
what
He,
Sheldon.
wanted, he just wanted his own powder, is all.
I was gonna say yeah. She was the real powder.
That's the kind of protection I need from females in my life. They touch me, they just disintegrate.
that way you can focus on your grind set.
Yeah. Like getting flat 4 for the 5th season in a row.
Because of your black arm, right?
All right, guys, we gotta wrap this up. So,
Thanks for tuning in.
to podcast number 8 on our little rants and stuff. Who fucking knows when we'll come back for another podcast? I'm not even gonna.
Shout out Studio 14 and shout out to all the voice actors. Oh my god, they were incredible.
There was not a weak voice actor in the entire show.
Literally, I don't know
The voice acting was on point for
Music,
everybody.
bro.
And the music.
The music. But he's not joking. That's for next week's episode. We gotta end this show.
Yeah.
Next year's, you mean?
Goodbye.
See you next year.
See you next year.
Okay, I just moused over Brad and A's stream. It's black and white, and I think his KDA is 2 and 10. He's looking pretty good right now.